And we are back. Hello everyone, welcome back to 5 Minutes Course channel where I will be explaining the solution of every problem of Lead Code and Geeks for Geeks. So without wasting time, let's get started. Today's problem is find all triplets with zero sum, which is marked as a medium level problem. Let's find out what we will be given into this problem and what we have to do. So basically, we will be given one array ARR of integer types, and what we have to do is basically we have to find all the triplets. We have to find all triplets such that the array elements which are stored at those triplets, their sum is equal to 0. Come on, one more time I will say ki, look, these triplets which we have to return, these are not the numbers but are the indexes, and those with what indexes we have to return, those indexes we have to return such that the sum of those index, sum of elements stored at those index is equal to 0. I think the problem statement is pretty simple and it will be clear to you as well. So basically I, j, k will be 3 indexes, and if the array elements which are stored at I, j, k, their sum is equal to 0, we will store it into my into one list, and at last I will simply return the whole list. So in that list there will be several triplets. Triplets basically means only 3 indexes such that the elements stored at them sum is equal to 0. Okay, three indexes, not more than 3, not less than 3. Okay, all right. So I hope the problem statement will be clear to you. But now let's come on to the approach. What approach are we going to take? Because it's a tricky problem, I will say. So first approach which will come in my mind is pretty simple. I will use a nested loops, 3 for loop inside one another, and first I will be at, let's say, 0. At the starting point I will put my I, at the next point I will put my j will be simply I plus 1, and k I will put at j plus 1. Okay, and in that way I will run three for loops nested inside each other, and I will simply keep on checking if arr I plus arr j plus arr k is equal to 0. Simply store all those indexes into one list and store that list into my parent, into my master, which is answer array list, and at last we will simply return our answer array list. Pretty simple, isn't it? But if you will see the time complexity of it, the time complexity of it is big of n cube. And if we see the constraints here, so array size can be as greater than 10 raised to the power 3, and 10 raised to the power 3 into 3 times is 10 raised to the power 9, and this approach will give me time limit exceed. This approach will give me time limit exceed. So we have to think of any other approach. Now what's the next approach which we can do? Look, one approach is coming in my mind, so let's see that. Look, what approach I was thinking. Key, look, first of all, what I will do, I will simply sort this array. I will simply sort the array, and after that, I will put my I index. I is to I at the starting, and then apply the binary search. But that will only work. That approach will only work if I have to return the elements. If I have to return the elements whose sum is equal to 0. But here we don't have to return the elements. I have to return the indexes. I have to return the indexes. So if I will sort the array, I will sort the array. The array indexes, let's say the index elements original element stored at a particular index will of course change, and our answer will be wrong. Our answer will be wrong and test cases will fail. So we cannot solve the array. We have to find a solution by which without solving the array we can return the triplets. I hope why we are not solving that will also be clear to you. So now let's think of other approach. Okay, all right. Other approach which is coming in my mind is basically if I store the sum of all the pairs, like all the possible pairs sum, I store into one map. Okay, so if suppose, no, let's suppose all the sum of elements, all the possible all the possible pair sum is stored in one map. Okay, all right. After that, now suppose I at some point I got this one. I got, like, I will, after storing all the elements pair sum into one map, I will simply iterate over this array again once. I will, let's suppose I reach to this 1. Okay, so I will check here 1 I've got. Now if I can get -1 sum, if I can get -1 sum of 2 elements, so I will simply get a triplet. I will get a triplet because look, 1 I have already got, 1 I have already got. Now I need -1. Now I need -1 with 2 indexes, so like -1 sum of 2 indexes such that like if I can get, so simply I will I got na, look, -1 is there with 2 indexes, and now this one index I have also got, so total sum will be 0, and I have got one of our answer, our one triplet I have got. Okay, one triplet I have got. I got a bit fumbled, so please excuse me for that. Okay, so in this way we can get our approach right. I hope this point will be clear. Let's see one more thing. Now 2 3 4 0 1 2 3 4. Okay, all right. So let's see, suppose I got this minus 3. Okay, I got this minus 3. Now what I will say कि यार this element is minus 3 if in this whole array there are any two pair, there are on any pair whose sum is equal to 3. So look, this is 3, this is minus 3, the sum will be 0. So is there any pair, are there pairs with sum 3? Yes, there is one pair, that is this 2 1, which is indexes are what, 2 comma 4. The indexes are 2 comma 4. Okay, and I now got 3, I now got 3. So total, like all the I will all these store these triplets into one list of integer and simply return it. I hope this point will be clear and this approach will be clear in your mind as well. But there are a lot of complications here as well. Let's see them one by one. So first is, look, in the map I have to store the sum. In the map I have to store the sum as well as their indexes. Okay, why? Because look, let's suppose there is one minus 1, this is one array with in the elements as minus 1 0 1 comma 1. Okay, all right, so what I will do, first of all, I will simply store them in the elements, the pair sum into a map. Okay, let's take this example later. Let's first of all operate on this one. So what I will do, my map will be of sum, map will be of sum and list of integer array, list of integer array. Okay, what does this mean? This means basically there will be sum and there will be two indexes stored in this integer array, the whose sum is equal to s. Because look, now the thing is there can be many pairs whose sum is equal to s, so I need to store all those pairs. That's why I'm using a list. That's why I'm using a list. Okay, all right, so let's store it. First of all, 0 minus 1 sum is what, minus 1, and indexes are basically 0 comma 1. Okay, so if I will let me write it clearly, 0 comma 1. Okay, all right, next sum is what, next sum is let's say 0 2 2, next sum is 2. Okay, and its indexes are what, 0 comma 2. Guys, I need your time and it's a bit lengthy as well to explain, but I'm trying my best. Now again 0 comma 3, now the new sum is what, minus 3. Okay, and the elements are what, 0 comma 3. Okay, all right, again the sum I got what, 1. Again the sum is what, 0 comma 1, the sum is 1. Okay, let's store it as well, and this is something like 0 comma 4. Okay, all right, 0 comma 4. Again I will start with the sum. Now minus 1 and 2, minus 1 and 2. Okay, the sum is what, minus 1, sum is what, minus 1. Now 0 comma 1 is there, again I got another pair whose sum is equal to minus 1 and those indexes are 1 comma 2. Okay, all right, moving on, let me delete this here. Again this minus 1 minus 3, sum is what, minus 4. So minus 4 I've got, and let's store those indexes as well, and the indexes are 1 comma 3. Okay, all right, now this will be minus 1 comma 1, the sum will be 0 and the indexes are what, indexes are 1 comma 4. Okay, all right, indexes are 1 comma 4. All right, let's delete this. Now again I will take the sum of these pair, 2 comma minus 3. The sum is what, minus 1 again, and now the new indexes are what, new indexes are 0 1 2 comma 3. New indexes are 2 comma 3. All right, moving on. Now another is what, 3, sum is 3, sum is 3. 3 is not stored yet, so let's store 3 as well. Let's store 3 anywhere. Let's store 3 as here, and there the list elements will be what, 0 1 2 comma 4, 2 comma 4. I hope it's a bit time taking, but let's see this. Again the sum is what, minus 3 and 1. The sum is minus 2, minus 2 is still not present, so minus 2 is there, and the sum is, the indexes are basically 3 comma 4. Okay, so these are the few pairs, these are the possible sum of pairs and those indexes. Okay, all right, now what I will do, I will simply iterate over this array again. All right, now I got 0, I got 0. Okay, all right, so is there any other pair, is there any other pair such that that pair sum is 0. Because if I look, this one element I have got, and now if there are any other pairs, if there are any other pairs whose sum is equal to 0, I have got a triplet. Okay, so yeah, I've got this sum as 0, and this is one list 1 comma 4 pair. But yeah, look. Okay, okay, all right, all right. So 1 comma 4 is there, whose sum is equal to 0. So I've got a triplet, because look, this is 0 index, this is 1 index, this is 4 index. Their sum is equal to 0. Okay, so I have got a triplet with answer as 0 comma 1 comma 4. Isn't it cool? Yes, it is cool. All right, moving on. Now again, I've got a new element, that is -1. Okay, so -1. Now I will check ki, yeah, can I get -1 is there, -1 sum is there. Now I will check if there are any pair sum with one sum, pairs with sum as 1. Because if I got a pair with sum as 1 and this is -1, so I've got a triplet whose sum is equal to 0. Okay, I will check 1. Yes, I've got a pair, 0 comma 4. 0 comma 4, I've got a pair. So now look, 0 comma 4 is there, one index is there, so new pair will be what? 0 comma 1 comma 4. But you can see कि it is already stored. 0 comma 1 comma 4 is already stored, and now it's coming again. So I will use a set. I will use a set to store these, so that there are no duplicate elements. There are no duplicate elements. Okay, all right. So 0 comma 1 comma 4 is already stored, so it will be skipped, and now I will move on. Now I will move to this 2. I will move to this 2. Okay, all right. Now look, this is the sum is, current sum is what? Current element is 2. I will check to find out if there is any pair whose sum is equal to -2 in this map. Yes, there is a pair. There is a pair whose indexes are 3 comma 4. Okay, all right. So there are indexes 3 comma 4. This index is what? 2. So I have got a new pair with indexes 2 comma 3 comma 4 whose sum is equal to 0. I hope this point is very, very clear to you. Okay, all right. Now again, moving on, I will move to this -3. We'll move to this -3. So again, I will check, is there any pair whose sum is equal to 3? Is there any pair whose sum is equal to 3? Yes, there is a pair with the indexes as 2 comma 4, and this index -3 index is 3. So I have got a pair whose indexes are 2 comma 3 comma 4, a triplet. But 2 comma 3 comma 4 is already stored. Okay, so in set it will skip, and I will move on. I will move on. Okay, so again I will move to this 1 index here. So I will check, yeah, is there any pair whose sum is equal to -1? I hope now I'm not explaining again and again, because it will be pretty clear to you. Okay, there are three pairs. There are three pairs whose sum is equal to -1, and this is, let me clear all this space gap here. Okay, all right. So what I will do now, I'm currently at 1. I will check for -1. Okay, this index is what? 4. Okay, all right. So I have got let's say many pairs. These three pairs whose sum is equal to what? -1. Okay, all right. So first pair, if I will take this pair 0 comma 1, so what will be the, let's say, yeah, let's say what will be the what I'm trying to say, so what will be the pair? 0 comma 1 and index is 4, so 0 1 4. Okay, all right, this is one pair, but it is already stored. Okay, all right, moving on. Again, the next pair is what? 1 comma 2. 1 comma 2. Oh, I have missed this. Look, this 1 comma 2 indexes sum is 1, not 1 -1. Okay, so it will be not here, it will not come here. Okay, all right. Similarly, 2 comma 3, this pair has sum as -1. Okay, so 2 comma -3, and its sum is equal to what? -1, and this is my sum is 1, so new pair will be what? 2 comma 3 comma 4, and this pair is already stored. Okay, so I've traversed the whole array. I've got two triplets whose sum is equal to 0. I will simply return it. I agree it's a bit tricky to understand, but I have tried my best to explain it to you, and I will request everyone to please subscribe the channel, like the video if you have loved the explanation. Let's take few more examples. Okay, all right. So let's say this is 0 1 -1 minus 0 1 1 minus 1. Okay, all right. So these are four elements. Okay, let's first of all, what I will do, make a map of sum and their pairs, sum and their pairs in the pair indexes. Okay, so first of all, let's say the sum is what? 1. This 2 I will take. The sum is what I am doing, sum is 1. Okay, and indexes are 0 comma 1. Okay, all right. Then again there is sum of 1 with the 0, 1, this one. And again the indexes are what? 0, comma 2 this time. Indexes are 0, comma 2 this time. Okay, all right, no issues. After that 0, comma minus 1, the sum is what? Minus 1. And the indexes are what? 0, comma 4. 0, comma 3, sorry, 0, comma 3. Okay, all right. Again, these two pairs, the sum is what? Sum is 2. And the indexes are what? 1, comma 2. Okay, all right. Again the sum is of these two is 0. Okay, I again store the sum as 0, and the indexes are what? 2, comma 4. Oh, indexes are 1, comma 3. Okay, all right. Moving on. Again, only pair which is remaining is this 1, comma minus 1. Okay, and what are the indexes? 2, comma 3. 2, comma 3. Okay, so these are the possible sum possible. These are the possible pairs with their sum. Okay, all right. Now what I will do, I will simply iterate over this whole array. I will simply iterate over this whole array. So for to like I've currently got 0. I've currently got 0. Now I will check, yeah, are there any more pairs? Are there any more pairs whose sum is equal to 0? Yes, there are two pairs. There are two pairs. First is 1, comma 3. Okay, so now I will try to map it. Let's say now I will get one a triplet that will be 0 index, 1 index, 3 index. Okay, how? Because look, 1 comma 3 index sum, 1 comma 3 index sum is 0, and there is first element 0 as well. So I've got a triplet 0 comma 1 comma 3. Okay, again I will iterate over this second uh, pair 2 comma 3, and again I will map it. So again the new triplet will be 0 comma 2 comma 3. Okay, all right. 0 comma 2 comma 3, again their sum is equal to 0. All right, in this way again I will move to this one. So if I move to this one, I will check, okay, is there any pair whose sum is equal to minus 1? Yes, there is a pair. Okay, so what will be the triplet form? 0, 3 indexes are this is one index is 1 only, so new pair will be 0 comma 1 comma 3. Oh, it is already stored. So we are using a hash set, so it will be of no issues. And at last we will simply return. Okay, I have given a lot of effort in explaining this, and I hope it will be very, very clear to you. And when you will see the code of it, it will become crystal clear to you. So let's move on to the code section. But before that, please subscribe the channel and like the video. It will really motivate me a lot. And share your feedbacks into the comments as well. Let's see the code section then. Okay, so let me use the cursor here. So first thing first, what I told was I will make a set which will be of list of integer type. And guys who are coding in C++, Python, I will attach the code and let's say GitHub link as well, so you can go through that. And the code is basically same, only the syntaxes are changed. Okay, so let's name is that answer set is equal to new hash set. Okay, all right. So now take one, iterate over this whole array. Int I is equal to 0, I is less than arr dot length I plus plus. Okay, and again take a nested for loop. J is equal to I plus 1, j is less than arr dot length j plus plus. Okay, so here what we are doing, we are simply making a map, with pair sum. Okay, so first of all what I will do, I will simply get the sum with what sum will be arr of I plus arr of j. Okay, all right. After that I will check in map, we have to, in Java we have to check if this is already present or not. So we have to declare a map. Let's declare the map. Map will be of what type? Integer, that will be my sum, and a list of integer type where we will be storing the pairs. Okay, something like this. MP is equal to new hash map. Very, very simple it is. Okay, now what I will do, I will simply check first of all, okay, if map does not have this sum, we have to make an entry of it. Something like this. If map does not contains this sum, we have to make an entry of it. How we will make entry? MP dot put sum comma new array list, and currently it will be empty. Okay, all right, something like this. So now I will come at this. Now I will simply add this sum, this pair I comma j into my map sum. So what I will do, MP dot get sum, and here I will add a new array of integer type, and two entries will be there, I comma j. Basically these are the indexes. Okay, all right. So I will come out of this for loop here, and now I will have a map with sum and list of arrays whose with pairs. Okay, I think it's pretty simple now. I've already explained it many times. Now let's move on. I will, what I told, after making the map, I will simply iterate over this array once again. Okay, so let's iterate. For int I is equal to 0, I is less than arr dot length I plus plus, And now what I have to find, what's my target? Target is basically minus of ARR I. Because look, this my current element is ARR of I. My current element is ARR of I. I have to find negative of ARR I, and if that I can find in this map, if that sum is already in this map, I have got a triplet. I've got a triplet. I hope this point is very very clear to you. So what I will do, I will simply check if in map this sum is present, contains key of what target. If it is present, okay, all right, I will simply get the pairs. So if you remember now, in map we are storing a list of integer array. So let's fetch that list of integer, and let's name it as pairs. Let's name it as pairs is equal to mp.get of target. Okay, all right, I've got these pairs. So what I will do, I will simply iterate over these pairs and make our triplets. Iterate over these pairs and make our triplets. So let's use a for each loop for int, let's say pair of pairs. Okay, and I will check if it is not duplicate. How are we going to check? If p0 not equal to I, and then p1 not equal to I. Because look, if these are equal, so basically it's a one index will be added two times. I is one index, okay, and if 0 is also one index, same index, and 1 is also a same index, so it will be uh, let's say one index will be added two times, so that we have to avoid. Okay, so now what I will do, I will simply make a new array list. Let's name it current is equal to array dot as list of let's say three things will be there, I, and after that pair 0, and after that pair 1. Okay, all right, so simply move to this new line. It will be pair, not p, it will be pair. I hope it's not a very tough code to write, so I'm not explaining much. So array dot as list will be basically making a new list, with three entries, I, pair 0 and pair 1. Now look, one issue is there, and that issue is key, yeah, it may not be in sorted. I, pair 0, pair 1, these numbers are not sorted, and we have to return it in sorted order. So we have to sort it. How we are going to sort it? Simply use collections.sort of current, and after that, very simple, what I will do, I will add this answer set dot add current. Okay, all right, this current is a triplet, and at last there is not much to do now. Simply return my answer set. Okay, but here one catch is there. Here this answer set is a hash set, and we have to return a list. So what I will do, simply convert this hash set into a list, write new array list, and of answer set, something like this. I hope it will be pretty clear to you. Let's try to compile this to check if there are few errors. If yes, we will simply correct them. Oh, it's correctly compiling. Let's try to submit this. Guys, please subscribe the channel, like the video. This code you will get on my GitHub, so make sure you follow me on GitHub as well. And yeah, that's it for today. I'm going to see you again tomorrow. Till then, keep on coding and download this Chrome extension. So its link will be in the